Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, grannies and granddads, whoever watching. I always wanted to say that, so don't worry. Welcome to another episode of Tottenham Hotspur, the never-ending soap opera. Breaking news out of North London, Thomas Frank has been revealed of his duties, which is football's polite way of saying, cheers, mate, dunk 'em in on Monday. The training cones are still out. The whiteboard still says trust the process, but the process, that's been escorted off the premises. Somewhere Vinay is updating Wikipedia saying experience in stadium naming rights and managerial speed dating. Spurs have officially entered stage 7 of the cycle, and there is 7 cycles. Number 1 is new manager hype. Number 2, he needs time. Stage 3 is trust the project. Stage 4 is January 1 window optimism. We're gonna buy everyone. Stage 5, tactical confusion. Stage 6, fan protest. Stage 7, statement at 8 a.m. And here we are again, lads. So grab a coffee, grab a stress ball. Let's talk about it because Tottenham's stability is just a rumour. And welcome to THFC, To With Die, home of Tottenham past, present, and the exciting future under somebody, which ain't Thomas Frank. And joining me, because he didn't have his say this morning, and we felt it was right to have his say because he is entitled to his say. And we're here. He is the Simon Jordan of our channel. It is the one and only a snake eating its own tail. That's all I can describe him as. But it's tequila. Big up to you, bud. Massive day in Tottenham Hotspur. He's gone. He officially has gone. What's your thoughts on it? It's been a big 24 hours at Tottenham, hasn't it?
Yeah, I think if it wasn't probably for the 10-day break, I'm not sure they would have done it. In a way, I suppose if this would have been probably the last opportunity because at least it gives whoever comes in, assuming we appoint someone within the next day or so, which I'm assuming we will, it gives them at least a week or so to try and get some semblance of something, whatever that is, just something better than what we've seen to these group of numpties because that's what they are. Because don't think for a second that these guys are not just as responsible as the manager, because they are, right? They're going to get away with it again because it's just the nature of football. The manager's the one who goes, never the players, right? But don't think for a second that they are off the hook with me personally anyway, right? And they should be ashamed of themselves. Just as much as Thomas Frank's fault it was, they all, for a player, and that's all of them, should all be ashamed of themselves. But they won't be. They'll go cash their 100 grand and get another car. So,
what's your thing on your logo? Do you want to give that a bit of an explanation?
Some people I'm sure have heard of this.
What that's all about?
Some people I'm sure have heard. This is Ouroboros. It's in different. It's been in Egypt. It's in Greek as well. It is a symbol of a snake eating its own tail. It's got several meanings, but the meaning I'm using it for is a never-ending cycle. Some people in the chat I've already kind of said it. Nothing will change. Injury crisis. Inic is still here. Yeah, and as Lou Chill Music says as well, he's right. If De Zerbi gets hired in 18 months, he'll be sacked, and then we just go around in circles. Ouroboros is a never-ending snake eating its tail, a never-ending cycle, and I'm absolutely sick to death of it. So whilst I'm not crying over Thomas Frank leaving because he did a bad job, I find myself
we're all sick to death of it. I think we all are.
I'm sure we are. It's just, so I'm afraid I'm not full of loads of optimism because I don't see this chosen one. All I'm hoping for right now that whoever they choose for the next 3 months can just pick up 9 points. Dermo has vanished, leaving just a snake eating its own tail. So as we wait for Dermo to sort his stuff out, because he is the host, I will go through the chat. Who have we got here? Big up to Adam McFarlane, 9351. Nothing will change. Injury crisis and Enoch still here. Exactly, my friend. Exactly. And that's the problem, isn't it? Let's be honest. That is the problem. Have you got chilled music? Yeah, I think I've read this out before. We'll do it again. De Zerbi will be hired and then fired. And then sacked in 18 months. We just going in circles again. Exactly. Couldn't have put it better, bruv. Anthony Lynch wants Xavi Hernandez. I'm not I honestly don't see the point in making a permanent change at this point in time. You just go for an interim for 3 months and then see who's around in the summer. So you're right, Dermo. Dermo's laughing, so something silly's happened. What happened, Dermo?
I came out because I had to turn off my VPN, right? And it always unsyncs us. I thought I'd turn it off, come out and come back in. I didn't look at the room I was going into. I went into an Arsenal channel.
Oh, did you say hello to them?
No, I didn't. I was in the background, and this fella was saying, "Well, Arteta now is something about Arteta," and I was thinking that doesn't sound like tequila. And
I
then
wouldn't dare talk about it unless there's loads of swear words next to Arteta. I would never say a word.
And then
about
I looked at the bottom. Then there was a rake of people at the bottom thinking, "Oh, hang on, I think I'm in the wrong house here."
Dermo gate crashes somebody's old house again. Well done.
Yeah, okay, but I'm back now. I'm back. Sorry. Look, I like Xavi Hernandez. He's probably my pick if I'm being honest, tequila. But for manager.
Make sure this isn't Xavi Alonso, not Hernandez, right? Hernandez is the one from who used to do Barca, right? Just so we understand.
Alonso for me is going to Liverpool. That's where he's heading to. And there's no way he's coming to us. But Xavi Hernandez, I think he'd be a good fit for us.
Not for me, but not for me.
Look, I don't want Pochettino back, and I think you're sort of with me on that. I think he's the logical choice, but I don't want him back.
Well, you've got a bit of information, so we can talk about that when you've given your
we do. Out. I was listening. I was hearing you had on when I came in. You had Ben and Sim on in the background, and it was something they were saying to Keela that I thought I wanted to bring up with you about Tottenham having a plan and not having a plan. And I agree with. I think it was Sim said Tottenham, or was it Ben said that Tottenham were foolish not to have a plan. And I think they have been foolish. They've been caught out. And you can make what you want about Enoch or Vinay or this. They had no intention of sacking Thomas Frank until, if you listen to his press conference, I think he was about to go down the Conte route. But he stopped himself within a reason where...
Yeah.
And I think this is why they've pulled the plug. And Dave said it on his channel, and I didn't get what he meant. I rewatched what you sent me last night. And I think that's one of the reasons why they've sacked him so quickly too. Because I think, I was sent it today and I sent it to you, that Enoch want a manager that they can control. That they will do, it will fit under their sort of rules and regs of how to be a manager. You don't complain. You're grateful for what you're given. And I think you don't get their managers anymore. And it's Pochettino that yes man. I think if they said to Pochettino, right, going to give you a 5-year contract, you can do what we say and you will never be sacked. I think Poch will go, okay, no problem. And I think this is why they were never, in my view, and I may be wrong on this, they will never employ a De Zerbi or probably a Xavi Hernandez or managers like that want total control over the transfers, because they will not give that up, because everything has to be done through Johan useless slang. And I think the only reason they're going for Poch, A, it gives them time. B, it gives them favours with the fans. The fans be all over it. And C, it gets Enoch out of another hole. And then the cycle starts again. I think it's time to break that cycle. I don't know how you break it.
Well, no, you can't. You can't because, well, you and me can't anyway. No. The only way it gets broken is if somebody stumps up 5 or 6 billion, however much they want for it nowadays.
Yeah, but are we going to get that, tequila, if we go down?
If we go down, no, they won't sell though, Dermo.
No, and you know that. And do you also agree with me that we're still we could still go down? Whoever Tottenham pick, whoever they pick as an interim or whatever, they still got to hit the ground running. Do you know, just because Thomas Frank's gone, a few fans are saying, well, we're all right now. That's not true.
Well, no.
We're still banging trouble. We're only 5 points off West Ham. And when was the last time, tequila, me as well, when was the last time you and me, I celebrated Man United scoring.
I know you did.
And you made a joke last night about it. But seriously, do you know, we were dependent on Chelsea and Man United last night to get us out of problems.
I can't deny. Well, no, I can't. I can't deny the situation we find ourselves in. I still don't think we're getting relegated. That doesn't mean that I think it's impossible. I still think that. I still think it's one of the more unlikely situations because we do have 5 points and we've got a great goal difference. Not well. Let me comparatively to West Ham, we've got a good goal difference. So we've got a great goal difference overall. So and that it could come down to that. But I think it's more within the realms of possibility to pick up 9 points in our remaining games. Only 9, right? I think that a manager who can at least get a decent, and I'm not saying that we have to go and be amazing, but just can we become average? If we could become average and a mid-table team, which is probably what our players are and no better, right? Then we should be able to pick up 9 points if we can become an average team. That's it. I'm not expecting us to whoever we bring in, no matter who it is. I'm not expecting us to start being, playing like we're competing for top 4. That's not realistic. Or I just want somebody to come in who can just scrap, can get a bit of belief in the players, can release the shackles off them because it feels like they have shackles on them. It feels that way. And just try to enjoy the football. Right, try and get a bit of a nice atmosphere for the fans and the players, because obviously the players, even though they're a bunch of, careful what I say, in my opinion, they lack character. In my personal opinion, I'm being very PC here,
and discipline. For what I was reading today,
and a whole bunch of other things that they mentally, I think, lack. The majority of them. If they can feel good about themselves, if they can feel like the fans are on their side, because apparently these are snowflakes and they need to be protected. Because they need to make sure that they're in bed by 11, their milk's nice and warm for them, right? Because this is what it appears they're like. So if this is what they need to be able to perform to at least an average standard, then the manager's going to have to come in and do all this. If they need to feel comfort, because that's one of the reasons, in my opinion, Dermo, our home record is so bad. Our players, I've said this to you months ago, our players dislike our fans. We dislike each other. We're fed up with them. They're fed up with us. They don't like playing at home. They hate it. It's obvious. Look at them.
And I know. And tomorrow's going to be interesting too, because you know he's on the overlap tomorrow, don't you?
Who have they got?
Ange Postecoglou. Now I thought that watch that, aren't you? Cool.
It does make me laugh. Yeah.
Yeah. I am going to make you watch it because I will watch it. Look, there's rumours of discipline, players turning up late. Romero, all the senior players never turning up on time. Apparently, after the Arsenal defeat, Frank went into the dressing room and said about turning up on time and being disciplined. These players weren't disciplined, turning up late. He didn't have any control over that. The players had no respect for him. And it even goes back to his first press conference. We are going to lose games. Alarm bells should have been ringing straight away, to be fair. I was one of them that decided to give Frank a chance. Didn't last very long, but I did try to give him a chance. Anyway, this is a statement. It's a long statement, Tequila, so buckle up, sit down, grab your cocoa, and get ready. This was out at 10:15 this morning. The club have taken the decision to make change in the men's head coach position. Thomas Frank will leave today, not tomorrow, not in a few hours, today. Thomas was appointed in June 2025, and we have been determined to give him the time and support needed to build for the future together. However, results and performances have led the board to conclude that a change at this point in the season is necessary. Throughout his time at the club, Thomas has conducted himself with unwavering commitment, given everything for his efforts to move the club forward. We'd like to thank him for his contribution and wish him every success in the future. That's it. That was the statement.
Okay.
Short and sweet, I have to say.
Yeah.
But do you think it's the right choice at the end of the day, Tequila? Do you think it was the right decision? And for your view, I know we're going to get on to Vinay and Lang and the board, but to your view, is this the last of Daniel Levy's legacy at the football club now?
No, I wish it was. Unfortunately, I think because of the players, because of the bunch of, in my opinion, average players we've mostly got, with a couple of exceptions, I think that until we shift all of them, and that's going to take several windows, his legacy is going to be with us probably for at least, I'd say, another 5 seasons. I'd imagine that's just me putting a little number on it. Maybe in 5 seasons, maybe most of these players will most likely be gone. Hopefully replaced with better players. That's hopefully. So no, I mean, to answer the question, I think Levy's legacy's got another 5 years or so, unfortunately, until we get most of these average players away from the club.
Yeah, I agree. Big up to David, says Forest and 0-0 at half-time. Forest 16 shots, Wolves 2. Don't think this will end 0-0. I somehow don't think it will either. See, Palace's new striker scored on his debut as well. Big up to him. Big up to Lucky Single, who says Joshua Zaxby, Benjamin Sesko. We're not selling them. They're useful. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Big up to 365 Platypus. It says the biggest question now is who is the coach? Who kept us in the league with these average players? And that is the question, isn't it? And we are going to talk about that as well. How do we stay in the Premier League? I don't share Tequila's optimism of this manager just needs, 9 points. I can't see us where we're going to get them 9 points in our remaining 13 games. I've said already, I'm sort of resigned myself to relegation, which is probably not like me. I'm not normal. I'm usually more positive than that, and Tequila's actually more positive than me on this.
It looks that way. It looks like I'm probably the most positive person on the channel, which will make long-time viewers kind of quite laugh.
Yeah, but do you know what I mean? I've had to resign myself to relegation because I don't think these players have the fight or the belief or the ability to get us out of trouble. And if they do suddenly start playing for an interim manager or a new manager, then it sickens me to death that they couldn't be bothered to do it for most of this season.
Well, there's a couple of, let's unpack a little bit of what you said. There's a couple of different things there. Do I think they have loads and loads? Do I think they've got the talent to what? Play teams off the park? No, I don't. Do they have the talent to scrap? Okay. A lot of our players, I think, do have that. I think there's enough of them who do have that kind of nasty side in them. There's not. I'm not saying it's all of them, but there's enough of them. For where, if you're asking me, do I think we can scrap? I think we do. I think we have actually got more kind of scrappy players than we do flair players. I think of flair players. I can think of Xavi.
I will have to tonight. Yeah.
I think of Xavi.
I will.
Think Kudos, right?
Yeah. Okay.
So I think we do have some players who can actually scrap a little bit. I think Conor Gallagher is going to be a good signing if that is what you want out of your player, to be somebody else. He'll scrap as well, right? So I think we do have enough of those players. Paulinho will scrap as well. We've got enough of those players, I think, right, to grind out some results. Do I think we're going to play anyone off the park? No, I don't. Do I think every match is going to be close? Yes, I do. But 9 points, 3 wins, even if they're bloody 1-0s and we stink the place out, that's it.
Yeah. Okay, so let me get this right. We've got Arsenal. So win or lose there.
Well, of course. Yeah, that's obvious.
Yeah.
No.
Okay, so you're going for an Arsenal win there.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Let me get the fixtures up in Tottenham. Right. Okay. So we've got Arsenal next. Okay. Fulham away.
They do have a good home record, but I don't think Fulham are unbeatable. I think that let's assuming we've got the new guy in charge, whoever it is, let's assuming he can get them to fight, to scrap a little bit, then I can see us getting the win. Do I think we will? Probably not, but I don't think that is like an impossible thing to happen. Most likely, I'd say a draw, but I don't think it's impossible. That's not an impossible fixture to win, don't
I? So are you saying your sort of 9 points are coming from Wolves? Yeah, just go through them. Then we've got Palace.
Again, Palace. I think that's another game where we could win 1-0 if we've got the right mentality and the right scrap. I'm trying to get the point across. I don't expect us to go out there be playing great football. It's not what I'm after right now. At all.
I know what you mean. But are you looking at games like Fulham, Palace, Forest, Sunderland, Brighton, Wolves?
Yeah.
Because the games against Villa and Leeds, Chelsea and Everton and Arsenal, them games I don't think we'll get much out of, if I'm being honest.
Well, Everton, Moyes is doing good, but Everton are not exactly amazing. It's possible to beat Everton, right? Leeds, they always like a scrap, right? It's got to be easy, but we can easily get something from Leeds as well. We ain't going to get anything from Liverpool. We ain't going to get anything from Arsenal. We already know this. We're not going to get anything from Villa. These guys are miles ahead of us. But those other matches, like I say, it's just 3 wins. 3 1-0 wins. 3 slender wins. Even if it's boring as hell, 1-0 wins.
I mean, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. We've got 5, 6, 7. We've got 7 more home games, and then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've got 7 more home games and 6 away. So really, you're looking really to grab your points away from home, because we cannot get anything at home. The lucky we might grab, it's a point from home at the moment. But you're looking at the Forest game. I think that's vital. We need 3 points there. That's a 6-pointer for me on the 22nd of March. Actually, let me bring this up instead of me looking at it on the other screen. So let's bring it up. Okay, Premier League. So look, hang on. Sorry, I've picked the wrong one. Sorry, I do apologise. It's me not doing it right. I'm so glad. I'm looking forward to my 2 days off. Thank you, Tottenham. Right, so let's bring these up now, guys. Right, so they're on next. Well, if you look at Arsenal next, right? So we've got Arsenal at home. Most people would say Arsenal win, but a new manager bounce. Could you see something out of that game, Tequila?
No, that would be like I mean, you can never say never, but no, that's like a 5% chance, and I wouldn't go higher than that. Of us getting that's 5% chance of a win, maybe 10% of a draw. That's not very good. It's not impossible though. But that's what I think.
No, I get it. But if you look, then we've got Fulham away, and then we've got Palace at home, Liverpool away, Forest at home. I think the Forest game for me that one there on the 22nd, I think that's the biggest 6-pointer for me.
Yeah, of course it is. I think that the players that we have are average, but those 3, you can say maybe Fulham are mid-table, but Palace and Forest, I mean, let's not get carried away. They're not particularly good themselves.
Well, Palace beat us last season.
Yeah, but they're not like we shouldn't be. I know that we're fearful. I get it. There's no confidence in the fan base or the players. I get it. There isn't any confidence. But let's just take a step. Our players are not particularly great players, but I'm not asking them to become great players. I'm asking them to just play to what they are, which is an average team. But an average team should be able to win at home against Forest and Palace. Yeah. I'm not saying that they need to become world beaters. I'm saying they just need to become what they are. That's it.
I get it. If we're getting into May, right, and needing, say, probably a win to stay up, I can't see us getting anything in the last 4 games, by the way. Maybe we might get something at Wolves. Maybe we might get something at home to Brighton. Brighton beat us 4-1 last year. Sunderland's no easy place to go to either, Tequila, either. So if you're looking at the last 4 games and you need points to stay up, where do you think we will pick up the points if we need points? Because I've been saying this quite consistently. I think this is going to the last game of the season, to be honest with you. We needed something from the last game of the season to stay up.
I think away to Wolves that's 3 points.
Yeah.
I think way to Sunderland have been a little bit of a surprise package this season. They've dropped off a little bit. Probably not going to win there, but that could be a draw. Brighton, I don't think we'll get anything against Brighton personally, but Leeds, I mean, somebody in the chat said Leeds are going to thrash us. Really?
Yeah, I think so.
Thrash us?
I think. Look, I Leeds are a good side at the moment. If you're in for a scrap, Leeds are a team you do not want to play. If you're in for a scrap, and you're scrapping if they're scrapping for Premier League survival as well as us, then are you going to think these players are going to get down in the trenches and fight dirty? They proved that last night they couldn't do it against the Newcastle side.
What they have proved to me is that they didn't do it under Postecoglou, and they didn't do it under Thomas Frank.
No.
There are more in this world. There are more managerial styles than Postecoglou's and Thomas Frank's styles. Number one, I don't know what Thomas Frank's style was, and Postecoglou was okay going forward, but was reckless as hell. There are other ways. There is something called balance, which we haven't had in a long time, in years. Actually,
and does Poch bring you that balance?
He brings more of it.
Yeah.
No, I'm not saying he's the perfect manager, but he brings more of it. And I'm not. And this isn't based upon us getting Poch, Dermot. This is I don't know who we're going to get. This is based upon us just.
Yeah.
We've heard the same. You've heard the same rumors I am. If it does end up being the person who we've been told tonight, then I'm not sure he has a style. I'm not sure he's got a style either.
No.
To be honest with you.
It is quite funny. You're more optimistic than me. I mean, that is hilariously funny. I will. That is the gimmick.
I've got logic. If people want to hear me talk about the logic reasons behind it, I can give the logic behind it.
Yeah. Why are you more confident than me? I mean, I'm looking at that fixture list and I'm being honest. And people in the chat, some of them say they agree with me. I cannot see anything out of Arsenal, Fulham, Palace, Liverpool, Forest, Sunderland, Brighton, Wolves, Villa, Leeds, Chelsea, and Everton that gives me any optimism that we're going to get 3 wins. No way. Because we're going to lose against the big teams because we're shit. And we're going to lose against the bottom half teams because we haven't got the bottle to fight or the bottle or the stamina or the common sense to actually win these games. And once we go 1-0 down, the heads drop. We went away to Burnley. And it wasn't for Romero getting an equaliser, would have lost at Burnley. How many times this season has Dr. Tottenham came up and said, there you go, opposition, you can have a win? Somebody was on TalkSport to say, he said, we need relegation to sort ourselves out. I don't think we need relegation to sort ourselves out. I think we need new owners to sort ourselves out. But what makes you so confident, Tequila? Well, I can't see it, and you can. What's the reasoning behind your positivity?
I wouldn't call it significant positivity. I think it's just that, and this is the difference between you and me, and always has been, and we both know it, and we both accept it about each other. You think with your heart more than your head when it comes to Spurs, and I am maybe too much sometimes. I generally go with the logic. And I look at us analysing that squad, the video me did with me, you and Rain several months ago now, the end of last year. And I see these players for what I think they always were. And I think they're an average team, which says to me they're 10th. That's what the average position is in a Premier League. So I'm just thinking to myself, okay, if we get somebody in as an interim who doesn't have to be a world beater, but who can all the interim's got to do is get these players to play at the level that they should be, not more than, just what they actually are. And I think we are an average Premiership team, and we are in 16th or whatever we are, significantly underperforming with the players that we have. So all the person's got to do is get us playing to our actual level and nothing more, not higher than any levels, just our actual levels. And I think that if that person can do that, then all we need is 3 wins. We don't have to play great football, as I said. Just 3 wins, and there's enough games there against teams that I would consider poor as well. Not saying that we're amazing. I think we're average. There's enough average to bad teams in that list that you've shown me where we can pick up 3 wins. That's the logic. That's what. No,
I get it. I'll tell you one thing. Do you know Palace were 1-0 up, Tequila, right? They went 2-0 up against Burnley. So you're thinking 3 points to Palace, that's great, yeah? Burnley have gone 3-2 ahead.
Yep.
From 2-0 down.
Yeah, it's good news.
Well, it's not good news for us because then Burnley are below us. So Burnley get more points to catch up on us. I really was hoping for a Palace win. Actually.
Yeah, but okay, so once again, I think Burnley and Wolves are done. So for me, that's just Palace dropping points. I don't consider Burnley in it. I think Burnley and Wolves are both done. So as far as I'm concerned, that's just Palace dropping points. That's what I mean by good news, because I don't consider we won't finish below Burnley. So Burnley and Wolves are already done. There's only 1 spot left. Another reason why I'm confident is because there's 1 spot left. Only 1.
I'm just going to look at the table now. What's your news on Odebear being out to next Christmas now? Do we go for an out contract player? Do we need to? Because I think we do.
Is
And
he out
this is
till
another
Christmas?
thing as
Is he
well.
out till Christmas?
Is out to next Christmas with an ACL.
Can't make it up, can you?
No, you can't. 18. So 10. Then 9. Sorry. Sorry. Let me get this right. Tottenham are 29 points and Burnley are on 18. So what's that behind us?
11.
11 points.
So that means that they have to pick up 4 more wins than us. I don't think Burnley are going to win 4 more matches.
No,
in the whole...
probably not. I think you're right, but it's the West Ham one that worries me. You look how well West Ham played last night. They played for their manager. They gave it all for their manager, and I think they were unlucky to come out with a point. If I'm being honest. So let's go into it, Tequila. We did get some news today, guys. Now the decision. That's the wrong one. Sorry. Right, this is the first bit of news I've got. But currently Spurs are not wanting to make a rash move. Wait until the end of the season to make sure the next appointment is right. Do you think that's right from the board? Firstly, to wait, or do you think they have to get this appointment so right now? This is their first appointment they're going to make. So do you think it's right?
100%. Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Even if it doesn't end up being Poch, which is the obvious choice, or at least that seems like the obvious way it's going to go. I don't know. I'm not in the know, but that's just common sense. But even if it isn't Poch, there'll be other managers available after the World Cup, like Tuchel. Just an example. Who, as Dermo said the other day, he is a Spurs fan. He might say yes because of that. I don't know. Would people? I think we'd probably all take him. So, so why would you do it now, Dermo? The only problem is with this, Dermo, is that if we do get one of the World Cup managers, it is going to put us behind in the transfer market.
It is. It's going to put us really behind. Now, apparently, there's an 8. It will.
Sorry,
apparently, there's an 80 million. Oh, sorry. Do you want me to come out and come in?
No, it's fine. It's not a massive delay. It's just a couple of seconds.
Sorry. 80 million in compensation is required to get Poch away from the US national team for the World Cup. I don't see Tottenham paying that, by the way. No way. I think they've paid an awful lot out on some. So we are going to get the interim route, guys, and hold your horses. Here it is. This is what I was given this evening. Ryan Mason is expected to take charge on an interim basis, appointment likely very short term, full focus already shifting to permanent replacement. And just to add that, he is the leading candidate, but not the only one. Ryan Mason, I mean, where we're going with this, Tequila, it's like, no, just please no. If we get Ryan Mason in, we're definitely going down, because he won't have a fucking clue, if I'm being honest.
So he wouldn't be my choice.
No, not my choice either.
But I probably would take him over our current assistant manager.
Yeah, I would.
If that is the option that they're thinking, because obviously the easiest thing to do is just give it to Heitinga. That's the easiest thing. With Ryan Mason, it's not the most difficult deal because obviously he's got the Tottenham links. He's done it all several times, and that's the only thing going for bringing Mason in, and it'll be easy. It'll be easy. It's fast, easy. He knows the club. The club knows him. Again, though, Dermo, he's not a good manager by all means, but all he's got to do is get these bunch of numpties to just be average. They don't have to be amazing. They've just got to be average.
I don't think these bunch of numpties will play for Ryan Mason. I do not understand.
Aren't some of his mates there, though? Aren't some of his mates still there?
Oh, yeah. Well, also, he's very close to Pochettino as well. So, I mean, I think the club have to come out and say, this is what we're doing. This is the direction we're going in. This is who we're going to appoint, and this is who we're going to appoint to summer. I think they have to make it a double appointment. or double announcement. And then everyone knows what they're doing. And then if it is Pochettino, he has to give whoever's the director of football, these are the players I want in, these are the players I want out. I'm giving them loads of videos of matches this year. Let him sit down, let him watch the matches and work out what his philosophy is and where he wants to go with the players we've got. Ryan Mason, and if that is the link, then Ryan Mason then can report back to Pochettino, well, this is what's happening in training, Gaffer. This is what's happening. I don't think Ryan Mason's the man to save you from relegation. I think Ryan Mason's the man to take you really down from relegation. You might as well just kept Thomas Frank in charge then. If you're going to appoint him as interim, you might as well just get Thomas Frank because he's just as useless as Thomas Frank.
So, see, I think maybe his overall qualities as a manager, I can't argue with you. I mean, you can say if you want to really base him just on their manageable careers, Thomas Frank's proven a hell of a lot more than Ryan Mason did because obviously he was at Brentford for many years. But not so much a manager bounce. I'm not thinking of it as a manager bounce. I'm just thinking of it as a freedom. If Thomas Frank was as disliked as everyone's saying backstage he is, then that alone will give them a morale boost.
Yeah.
If the man they dislike is not there, Ryan Mason's probably going to come in there. He'll know some of the lads already. He'll be their best mate. He's obviously a much younger guy, stuff like that. And he'll probably bring a relaxation. Is he a great technical manager? Of course not. Is he probably this great man manager? No, of course not. He's not shown any evidence of that.
Didn't do well at West Bromwich Albion, did he?
No, and he didn't. No, he didn't. And there's no defending it. I don't think he's a particularly good manager. But again, the job is simple. The job's not that. I'm not saying it's not difficult, but the job itself is difficult. The job he's got to do in 3 months isn't. It's 3 wins.
I get it. I get it. And I get where you're going. I get it. I get what you're doing. I get what you're saying. But I just cannot see Ryan Mason being that man to kill. I'm sorry, I can't. I really can't. Not
if you expect him to come in and all of a sudden we're going to be passing the ball around, free-flowing, attacking football, scoring 2 or 3 and not letting... No, he won't be that. He won't. No, there's no evidence that suggests that he can be that. Will the players maybe like him though? Will they like playing for him? Maybe. Will they not mind it? Will they be just happy that the person they obviously disliked is gone? That will raise their levels at least a little bit. Surely.
It should. I get it. I get what you're saying. But is this Tottenham without a plan? Is this Tottenham without a plan? Because this is no plan. This is like, oh, Ryan Mason's free. We'll go and get him. He used to manage for Daniel. Daniel knows him. That's fine. It's tried and tested. It's not tried and tested because Ryan Mason, for me, is not the manager you need. Look, he isn't the only candidate. Tequila. There is others, so we've been told. Who do you think else? Who would you like to see be in that frame? And when do you think Tottenham should make this appointment? They have given the players 5 days off. So is that giving the board 5 days to sort of put the ducks in order?
Yes, they need to have. Right. Yeah, they need to have the interim needs to be in by the time the players come back. Otherwise, what was the point?
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
So, I there's somebody in this chat said Redknapp. Yes, Redknapp makes sense to me as well.
No,
you don't think for 3 months,
No.
But Harry Redknapp was arguably our second best manager under Enix Tonya.
Yeah, I'd rather have Stephen Kennett. Redknapp's old. He's past it. He hasn't managed in a long while.
Yeah, but neither's Martin O'Neill, and he's done well at Celtic.
Yeah, but that's the Scottish League. That's different from the Premier League, Tequila. I mean,
I know it's a higher league. I know that, but it's just an example of you can still Martin O'Neill. He was a good manager. I wouldn't say he was a world-class manager, but he's a good manager and he makes a difference. You don't think Redknapp, all Redknapp has to bloody do, Dermo, he's come in and just do what he did before. Just tell him to run around a bit and have a good time. That's it. Take the pressure off them.
Yeah, I just don't. Why would he want it? I mean, his wife hasn't been well, apparently. Why would he want the hassle and the stress of it at his age? And I think he's been so long out of football. Is he going to have... As long as he brings in if he goes in with Ryan Mason, then okay, that might work because Ryan Mason's more managed more recently, or keep some of the stuff that I don't think Harry Redknapp's his answer. I know he's already said in Sky he would do it, and he would, if they rang him, he would do it at the heartbeat. I don't think he's the man. He's the answer. I think the problem is Tequila, right? And this goes back. Tottenham have backed themselves into a corner. They should have done this back after the Arsenal game. They should have done this after the West Ham game. They shouldn't have left it this long. And now we're all scrambling around that we want a Harry Redknapp to come back, or we want. I've heard names say of what's his name, Tim Sherwood, or Ryan Mason, or whoever. This is a board that is out of ideas. This is a board that has no ideas. This is a board or an ownership that is now running around like headless chickens, trying to fix a situation which they had made 20 times worse, but allowing this to go on as long as it has gone on. So if Enoch's great plan, or the Lewis family's great plan, was sack Thomas Frank, get Harry Redknapp in with Ryan Mason, if you think that's the team that's going to save you from relegation, it may well do. It may well get you over the line, but it has to be the right appointment. We are flirting on the verge of going to the Championship. We have to get this appointment right, because if you don't get it right, if you make the wrong appointment, it could go against you, and we could go down.
Out of the choices you've just said, though, right? Let's use the three names that you kind of mentioned. You've got Redknapp, you've got Mason, and who was the other one? Did you mention
the assistant manager?
Heitinga.
Right. Heitinga.
Okay, so for argument's sake, Harry Redknapp 100 times over both of them, because somebody's put it in the chat, because his best asset was his motivational abilities, and these players are not on paper. I know it's not one on paper, but on paper, these players, this team is not the 17th or 18th if we were to get relegated. They are not the 18th worst team in this division. So they need belief, and they need to play to their actual levels. Tactics for me, I'm not saying they're not important, but right now, being a tactical maestro is the last thing I'm really looking for. I'm looking for somebody who's going to make these guys, give them a kick up the arse that a lot of them need, and the few who needs their little powder puffs, little puffs, Redknapp can do that as well. Redknapp can be your best mate, and he can give you a kick up the arse. And that's always been his strongest suit. He's never been a tactical genius. Yeah. He never has been. He's been known for two things: his wheeling dealing transfers, which won't play a factor in the next 3 months, and his motivational ability. I think a motivator is much more important than any tactics right now, than anything. It's just to give these bloody numpsies a bit of belief, a bit of balls, a bit of fight, and a bit of character, because it's going to be a scrap. Not about playing free-flowing football.
I get that. I get that. I don't think picking Harry Redknapp's the right choice. I really don't. Maybe for you, and you give him some good reasons why.
3 months, Dermo. I don't mean permanently.
It doesn't. I don't care. I know what you're saying. So for 3 months, I don't think Harry Redknapp's the right one. I think he's been out of the game too long.
So you choose Heitinga or Mason over him then, out of those three?
If you're telling me, I go for if my choice would be De Zerbi for 6 months, 3 months, and put him on and say, right, come in for 3 months, and we're going to put you on trial, see how you get on. Because there's no guarantee we're going to get Poch after the World Cup. For what we're reading tonight, that the USA want to sit down with him and extend his contract. He's got a decision to make. You've got decent managers that are out there already, Tequila, that are out of work already. So Tottenham's got a decision to make. Do you run with a Harry Redknapp, with a Ryan Mason helping him, doing the training, and Harry Redknapp, as you said, doing the motivational? Will the players listen to that? May do, may not. Or do you go for the permanent route where you could wait to summer for Pochettino, but you want somebody in sooner rather than later? As you said on one stream, where they got 3 months to sort out the squad, then you have to go down. You have to go down that route. I get that. I get the Harry Redknapp. I get that. I don't think it's the right route, but what do I know? What do I know? I'm just a.
Oh no, it's just opinions, mate. You know as much as me.
It is all opinions. It's all opinions, but I don't think Harry Redknapp is the right choice. And I think what annoys me the most, Tequila, about all of this is This should have been done a long time ago. We should not have waited until February to make a decision. And I do feel that Tottenham Hotspur and the ownership have really ballsed this up big time, because if you knew back before the window that you weren't going to back this manager, you weren't going to back him with players, you knew you have to sack him somewhere along the line, why not do it then? And why not get a manager in for the rest of the season and say to her, to say De Zerbi was free, right, come in for 6 months or 7 months. We'll back you in the transfer window, get some of the players in, and do it that way. This all, we can blame Thomas Frank as much as we like, Tequila, but I think it all boils down. This is Enoch again, and the ownership ballsing it up. And as you say, it's a Daniel Levy legacy, but I think also we're dealing with an Enoch 2.0 legacy now, where they've ballsed up. They've left it too long, put themselves into a corner, and they couldn't make a decision. So, we've got. I just don't know, man. I don't know.
I've always thought, and I've got no in the know knowledge, right? This is just, again, I'm trying to use logic as I see it anyway. In my opinion, they were never going to let Frank be the manager next season, no matter what. So I think that they were just kind of hoping he wouldn't be the disaster at the end that it looks like he was. I thought that they were going to just go with it for this season, still in the Champions League, to that extra money they probably weren't thinking they were going to get. I think that they probably thought that as long as the relegation isn't a fear, we'll just go with it until the end of the season, and then we'll do the proper manager search. That's why I will be absolutely astonished and shocked, and part of me also disgusted, if they make a permanent replacement now. Because then, you're right, then they may as well have sacked him months and months ago. Because they didn't. Yeah, well, because that's why, because they didn't, has led me to believe that they don't want a new manager in until the summer. So that's why I will be shocked if they do go for a permanent signing now.
Yeah, surely they should have had a plan by now. That if they knew this is what they're going to do, they should have had a plan B ready to go. And already, I think it was said, as I said before, you were listening to EO Tottenham TV, and they should have had an interim already announced, like, sorry, we're here to announce blah, blah, blah. Thomas Frank's been sacked, but blah, blah, blah is going to take over for the remainder of the season. You look at Manchester United, when they sacked Amarin, straight away, there's an interim for one game, right? And there's another interim then for the rest of the season. Why can't our board do that? And are they using the 10 days they've got between us and Arsenal left as an excuse? Because, to be fair, Tequila, we've sacked managers at worst times of the season and had a manager ready to walk in straight away. You can say, well, what about Daniel Levy? But at least he was a bit organised when it came to sacking managers or putting in or appointment. I think this board, this board and this ownership, Vinay and Johan Lang and Charlie and Viv and Carrington, haven't got a fucking Scooby-Doo how to run a football club. And they're just doing it as they're going along.
I don't think that I don't think that they've got that much of a clue as well. I agree with you, but the part I don't agree with you is that Levy did well. Do you remember what happened after we sacked Conte? Remember what we did then?
Well, I know we went with Satini and then we went with Ryan.
Right. So
Ryan, I get that, but the point I'm trying to make is
let's not look back and see that Levy was any better at this.
Well, can I just make the point? What I was trying to say, maybe it came out wrong, but the point I was trying to make: 9 times out of 10, Levy would have had a manager or an interim in charge. Not all decisions work, but I just feel if Levy was in charge, Thomas Frank would have been sacked months ago. And I think he had to go after the West Ham game. I think you're spot on. The board tried to get it to the end of the season, and it's backfired on them. It's backfired on them big time. And they're left there toothless and haven't got a clue, don't know what they're doing. And they're left there with the decision, what are we going to do? I mean, even you, Tequila, would say, and probably would agree to, that you would expect Tottenham to have a plan already to put in place if they knew they were going to get rid, if they knew they're going to get rid of Thomas Frank. Surely, if apparently there's rumours going around he was sacked at half time. That is the rumour that's going around, that the board made the decision at half time to sack Thomas Frank. Now that's going down the Martin Yole route.
Oh yeah, of course it is. And that's wrong if they do it, just as it was wrong when Levy did it. So
Yeah, it was. But the point is, surely they should have had, and I do agree what you're saying, and I think you're right to be logical. I can be too passionate and too heartfelt, where you're more logical, which is probably the better way to be, if I'm being honest. But what pisses me off, they should have had a plan in place, Tequila, whatever happens. Look, whatever happens, they should have had a plan in place. And they didn't. And that, again, this ownership, again, it's proven to me that they weren't going to back him in January. For that means then they as you say, getting rid of him next summer at the end of the season.
What plan would you expect? I'm not defending them because I don't think that I agree with you. I don't think they particularly know what they're doing. But what makes you think they don't have a plan? They might, just because they have. He was only fired less than 24 hours ago, so maybe they do. That doesn't mean me and you are going to be happy about it. But maybe Ryan Mason is the plan, because that's the rumors. Maybe Ryan Mason was the plan.
Well, if that is the plan, then it's a plan. It's not the best plan. I mean, I look. If I was them, if I wanted, look, to be fair, if Pochettino was anywhere else, I think they'd be bringing Pochettino in now. If he was anywhere else and available, he'd be in the door now. It's only because he's in the USA, and that's tied their hands a bit, because they can't appoint him possibly to the summer. Now, if Tottenham were to go to the USA and say, look, we're willing to give you the 18 million compensation to release.
I doubt he'd do it, Dermo.
Yeah, I doubt they'd do it too, but I'm just
I doubt Poch would do it.
Yeah, hypothetically, if they did do that, hypothetically, and Poch did come, then that sets you up. Then you've got a manager in already that knows what he's going to do. The players are going to get behind him. The fans are going to be united. And this is the problem. The next appointment, either interim and also permanent, has to be the right decision. Because if you pick the wrong interim manager, if you pick a Mason and you say you do bring in Harry Redknapp and it doesn't work, right? Does Harry Redknapp really want to destroy any legacy he's got at the football club? I don't think he does. Do you think he wants the hassle of it? No. Especially if I'm hearing that his wife's not been well, and really, why would you want the hassle of it? I think personally myself that we're in a mess of our own making, and we're running around a headless chicken in the dark trying to find the light switch to turn the lights on. Nobody knows what they're doing. And maybe you're right. Maybe they do bring a Harry Redknapp in. Maybe you're right. Maybe they do bring a Ryan Mason in. And maybe you're right. Maybe they do wait to the summer and bring a Pochettino. But the biggest problem at this football club is the owners. And nothing's going to change while they're still here. Nothing's going to change why they're still in charge. And you can blame Thomas Frank all you want, but this man wasn't backed in January. We needed players. We needed people to fill out our football squad. We've lost another player to Christmas, and the owners didn't back him. Like him or not, he should have been backed. These owners have ran out of ideas. They have no ideas. They have no clue how to run the football club. And all they think about is how cheaply we can buy Daniel Levy's shares off him. And they've taken the eye off the football club, and we're in the mess we're in.
I don't think anyone's.
The season's dead for me. The season is dead for me. So bring in a Harry Redknapp, bring in a Ryan Mason. I really don't give a shit. Bringing Bozo the Clown.
I understand that, and everything you're saying, I can't, and nobody can really argue with you. Nobody's kind of saying that the board aren't the biggest problem, because we've known that for many a year. They are the biggest problem. They always have been the biggest problem. Recruitment's always been the biggest problem. The fact we've got an average team at best is down to the recruitment. It is. Of course it is. No one really, I think, is going to deny that anymore. We've gone through so many managers, we've just sacked another one. But it still remains is that we need to get out. We need to think short before you worry about the long term. We need to worry about the short term.
Mm.
Because as you've just said, if we get relegated, our options for manager, should we get relegated, are going to be significant. It will have to be a Robbie Keane. That's not me disrespecting him. That is who it would probably have to be.
Mm.
Because if you think Pochettino is going to take us over in the Championship, or Tuchel, or any of these maybe ones that could perhaps come after the World Cup, they ain't going to touch us as a Championship club.
And a question to you, Tequila: are we going to get out the Championship at the first attempt? That would be highly unlikely too, because that's a difficult league to get out of as well. Once you're in it for a while at least. We should bounce straight back up, but are we going to bounce straight back up if we did go down? I can't see us bouncing straight back up in the first season, if I'm being honest.
I don't know if it's going to be the first season. I wouldn't expect us to have a long stay there, but I can't guarantee and say we're going to come flying back up. I mean, a lot of times that does happen. That they do kind of come back up a lot of times, but sometimes they don't. Luton, sometimes they fall through the cracks. I don't think we're going to fall through the cracks, but I can't sit here and say to you that we're going to like smoke the Championship next season. But I would expect us at max maybe 2 seasons. I would have thought.
Yeah,
but I know it's hard to not fear that, but I still don't think it's going to happen. And I still think that I understand why everyone's. I get it. Depression's real. I get it. And when I say depression,
I can't believe you.
I can't bloody believe I'm the optimistic one either. Trust me, it goes against type.
I'm thinking, have we walked into a different? We're in the Twilight Zone or something?
I guess when everyone's high, I don't get that high, and when everyone's low, I guess I don't get that low. So no. I don't. I think this is salvageable, Dermo. I can't tell you who the right person for the job is, right? I think it's Redknapp. I've been watching the chat, and there's been decent arguments for him and not him. I'm for him, but I read the chat because I've been reading it as well, and there's been put some arguments about why he wouldn't be the best choice. Personally, I think I'm okay with him, but that again, I am still saying okay, not Redknapp, fine, but then is there an option that any of us can agree with for an interim for 3 months? You don't want Redknapp, okay? None of us particularly want Mason. None of us particularly want Heitinga, right? And Redknapp's 50-50. So then who then, Dermo?
I go for De Zebra for 3 months.
He ain't going to take it. He'll want it permanently, dude. He's not going to take it.
Well, not unless Spurs say to him, look, let's go on about permanent management. But I want to say big up to Hammers TV. Thank you very much. We were relying on Man United last night, but he played well, West Ham, actually. That's the team. Do you see West Ham, how they played last night, Tequila, right? Just very quickly before going on to our future manager choices. That's a team and a fan base together, how they played against Man United last night. We weren't like that last night. We were bad, weren't we, to be fair? And I don't know. It's so frustrating at the moment. Big up to you, Tony.
Yeah, but wasn't that long ago, though? I know that West Ham are doing a bit better now, but earlier in the season, Nuno was like, everybody wanted Nuno gone. He only just joined. Yeah. So my point is that stuff can change quickly. Once you get on a little bit of a run, all of a sudden, everything's rosy.
Do you know what, Tequila? I will support any manager that comes in, and I will, and I back him, and he will get my full support. Frank, I stuck with Ange for nearly 2 seasons, to be fair.
I've heard people wanting Ange back as well. Don't get me started on that one.
Yeah, what are your thoughts on that, by the way? I'm being sensible now. This is a serious question, right? This is a very serious question. I want to say big up to Mary as well. We'll go back to that at the end, Mary. Tequila has a very good view in this, and he does find the points, believe me. Get Tequila in as interim manager. That would be the job. Look, there is cause for Ange to come back. There is cause that the players will run a brick through wall for him. That the players really respected Ange Postecoglou, but never really respected Thomas Frank. If Ange was to come back in the door and the club to say on an interim basis, right, Ange, take us to the end of the season, what would your reaction be? And this is a serious question because it has been put out there. So I suppose I want to know what your reaction would be.
I would that probably would be it for me as a fan, because I would just like I have. There's no point me trying to apply logic anymore. If that were to happen, I might as well just give up and go home, because there's no logic involved in anything Spurs does, and I don't want to believe there's not at least one person at that club who has at least half a brain and can actually try to be logical. If we go and get Ange back, right, then that will convince me that everybody in that club must have an IQ under 50.
Yeah.
Personally. And I will just, I'll hold my hands up and just say, you know what? Okay. Then I will then just go, because there's just no point me sticking around, because I don't know what I'm dealing with then, because that seems absolutely insanity to me.
Yeah, sorry. I'm just replying.
People in the chat while Dermo's doing that. Okay, I know that we've all got different opinions on Ange, but really, you'd have Ange back for a relegation scrap, which is what it is.
I wouldn't want Ange back. I think Ange is done. I think we need to look forward. Personally, I think I agree with you. If they did say to him, "Yeah, Ange, well, I will seriously consider what are Tottenham doing here." But if the board are looking for space and the board are looking for favour from the fans, then you probably would bring in a Harry Redknapp, or you would bring in a Ryan Mason if you want favour from the board. I think Ange coming back would be a major mistake anyway. But the problem is, it's waiting to the summer, isn't it, Tequila? It's the wait we have to go through. If we could get Poch of him to come back now, it would make all things easier, wouldn't it? But we can't. And do you think, Tequila, before we get on to the managers that have been linked for the permanent role, there is other managers bar Pochettino. Do you think the board are as capable of where Tottenham are now, as well as Thomas Frank? Because I think the board are just as blameful as Thomas Frank is. Johan Lang, Vinay. I think losing Paratici, I think losing him, I think it was a major blow. I think sacking Levy was a very big disruption to our season. After Levy was sacked, the wheels sort of fell off, didn't they, a little bit? Do you think that something should have been kept to the summer, or done early in the summer? Or do you think Thomas Frank deserves all the blame and the board just a little bit? Where you want it?
No. I think Thomas Frank played a part. I think the board played a part. I think the slice of blame pie or cake, wherever you fancy is, I think it goes around. I think it's a bit of everywhere. It's the only thing that Thomas Frank said in that press conference, even though he was signing his own death warrant, really, because you're right, Dermo, it was Conte-ish, nowhere near as Conte-ish, but you can see what he was saying, just he wasn't being as blatant about it as Conte was. But he, in my opinion, he actually was right in that interview last night. It isn't just him. It is actually the players. It is actually the board. It's the recruitment. It's the lack of leadership from the board. It's the recruitment and neglect of the past 5 seasons since Pochettino left, right? It is his management has played a role in it as well. It is the players individually, collectively and individually as well. It's all of them, Dermo. But as you know, we can't fire the players. Apparently, we can't fire the board either. So who do you fire? You fire the manager again.
Or do you fire director of football as well? I mean, our club's a complete mess at the moment.
Of course he does. Of course he needs to go as well.
Do you know what? We were all taking the piss out of West Ham, weren't we, earlier in the season? And other clubs, look at Man United last season, taking the piss out of them. I think we're the biggest joke of the Premier League right now.
Last year, Dermo, it was us and United. Yeah. We were both jokes. This year, unfortunately, United have pushed on, and we're the only jokes now. Yeah.
I've never been this disillusioned with my football club. I've never felt this disconnected from my football club. And I keep saying it, Tequila, if it wasn't for the channel and me doing content and doing it for the people and doing it for you guys and you guys watching and the watch-alongs and the pre-match and the pump-ups and all the shows that we do on here, I wouldn't be watching Tottenham right now. I wouldn't bother my Barney. I would have turned off and walked away. This is the only thing that's keeping me sane at the moment is this channel.
The thing is, Dermo, right?
Football sane, I mean.
I hear you, but how you're feeling is how I felt last season.
Yeah, probably.
I felt this way because I said to you, and this is more or less my exact words, even though we did win a cup, which I was happy about, I did not respect my team because of what they did in the league. So this is now, for me, this is 2 seasons now. I have no respect for this team, which is very painful.
It's not disrespect, it's disconnect.
It's all of it. It's disrespect, disconnect. It's the whole matchup for me. It's all the
thing. It's owners that don't give a shit. It's a manager that doesn't care. It's the fans fighting with the players fighting and the infighting and everything that's going on. And the only way that gets sorted out, and I've said it before and I say it again, and I know we called him a snake for joining Chelsea, Tequila, and we both said we wouldn't want him back at Tottenham. And we're probably going to end up being hypocrites by welcoming him back to Tottenham. I think the only person that can fully pull us together and unite us as one is Pochettino. I think he's the only one that will unite us as a fan base.
The thing is, I said
want to ask you a question. Yeah, go on, bud. I'll ask you a question.
No, go on. You do it. So.
I'm very much where you were last season with Tottenham and the manager and but I've come to the board very late when it comes to ENIC, and we're now, as you can see, we've got the banners behind us. Fans built this club, ENIC out, and we're both very much, the channel's very much ENIC out channel at the moment, and all will remain before ENIC do go. I do my protests of 75 minutes, walk off the watch along as a protest. People laugh a bit thinking it's funny, but it's deadly serious to me. So I want to ask you this. You have been long time ENIC out, and you've been long since they sat Martial at half time.
Yep.
If Pochettino came back and started playing the way Pochettino did first time round, would that make you more fall back in love with Spurs but still want the owners out? Do you know what I'm getting at? Would you then find more passion for the game but also give you more fight for the owners to leave too?
I don't think my stance on the owners is going to change that much.
No.
The reason why I think Poch is the best choice is based upon unless the board sells, which we every summer we hope that they do, and it just never happens. It just doesn't. How many years have we said it in? Maybe 1 year will be wrong, but who knows? So because of that, it's going to be under the same bloody ENIC model. And Poch has proven to me that he could work under the ENIC model. So he and Redknapp are the only two, in my mind. Him and Redknapp were the only two managers who prospered under the ENIC model. Redknapp's too old to do it full time. 100%, I agree. Pochettino, probably prime of his managerial career. Has he learnt stuff since he left Spurs? I'd like to think so. He certainly learned a lot more about dealing with massive egos, because he had to deal with that at Chelsea and especially at Paris Saint-Germain, right? So he's got more experience. I hear what Dermo criticises him for, and I agree that he is not traditionally a winner. He does not get over the finish lines very often. He has done, but with Paris Saint-Germain, which, I mean, come on, right? That still would concern me, because I still don't know if he's got that winner's mentality. I'm not sure that he does, but Dermo, for me, I'm not worried really about challenging for a title or really competing for cups. I know we just got one last year, but I'm actually not thinking about that. I'm sick to death of being a bottom table team that I've seen for the last 2 seasons. So for me, if Pochettino can come in and get us just into, I'd bite your hand off for like 7th next season. I would bite your hand off to finish even in a Conference League positions via the league next season. I'd bite your hand off right now for it. I think Pochettino can I think there's enough about him to do that. And that's all I'm after. I'm not after somebody who's going to make us become world beaters again, because I'm not sure that's ever going to happen. In fact, I know it's never going to happen with these owners. We will never challenge on all fronts under this ownership, ever.
No, I agree.
So I'm just looking for the best option for next season. And out of the managers who are going to be free, is Pochettino. It will bring back a little bit of happiness because most of us will be galvanized. I know some people don't want him, but there's more people that do who don't. He's the obvious choice, Dermo. The only other person I can think of would be something like a Tuchel, because he is a good manager and he's a Spurs fan. Wouldn't it be nice to have a Spurs fan as a manager for a change?
It would actually. It really would. Look, let's go into it. Let's get big up to Hammond. It says, but ENIC model tequila was under Levy with Lewis just
Yes,
a bankroller.
it was.
Would it be
Yes,
the same under the new regime there? He's asking.
All I can say, mate, is that
I just need to go to Lou, but I'll be back in a minute. Sorry.
Okay, let me answer the question then.
You can bring the comments up, can't you?
Yeah, I can do it.
Yeah, okay, you go through them if you want. All right, back in a minute.
Hammers Football TV. What I'd say to that, mate, is you're right. Levy isn't there anymore, but as I think we probably found out in the January window, at least for us, there doesn't seem to be that much difference. The numbers are about the same. We're spending the same kind of money, and our way of going about things is quite similar. So I don't think there is going to be that big a difference between the two. But to be honest, again, it's a little bit too soon to say because this new board has only really had half of the summer window, maybe, and one January window. So I actually think we'll learn a lot more in the summer window. But it could be that, mate, you're 100% right, and that the new ENIC maybe can't work with Poch. But the only evidence I've got is that he did work under the old ENIC. How much of that is the same? I honestly don't know. And I don't think anyone really does yet. I think most of us are going towards the direction that it looks and sounds and feels like that the new ENIC is the same as the old ENIC. It looks that way. But I think we probably need another transfer window just to be sure of that. So all I know is that Poch did wonders under the old ENIC model. And he's the only one who really ever did fully succeed, really, even though, as Dermo says, he never won us a trophy. And the only one who came close other than that was Redknapp, because Redknapp managed to break the top four duck because Martin Jol couldn't get us over the line for the top four. And it was only Redknapp who managed to do it. Granted, we had Bale, Modric, hell of a lot of better players then to do it. That's true. But he was the manager who did it. Let me check some of these other messages. Oh, there's a lot of them. I'll start from the bottom, work my way up till Dermo gets back. Gerard says the Dutch man they brought in as well might be the temp manager. Heitinger. He didn't do very well in Holland when he was the assistant manager. Are you sure you want to be giving it to him for a relegation scrap? I think I'd rather have Ryan Mason. Only because Ryan Mason probably knows his way around a bit more. What a choice, though. Think about it, guys. What a choice we find ourselves in, huh? Our options are Ryan Mason or Heitinger to save us from relegation. How did we get here, fellas? How did we get here? Hammers TV. I answered that one. Big up to you. Big up to Iceman. Reality is hitting home. If Forest wins tonight, we are on the same point and we have Arsenal next. Could be bottom three within 3 games. Yes. Again, I can't sugarcoat it. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that it's not true. I still think we're going to get out, though. Not because I'm delusional. I'm very far from being delusional. I just think that we're playing enough teams that are nearly as bad as us. That all we've got to do is raise our levels ever so slightly. Again, fellas, I don't mean we've got to raise our levels so where Welby is. All we've got to do is try to become average. Is that too hard a thing for us to do? And this is me asking you guys a question. We don't have to become amazing. We don't even have to become good. All we've got to do is just become average. All we've got to do is become like the 12th best team. That's all we've got to do. For 13 games, just get a bit more form, so we're just an average Premier League team. That's all we've got to do. That's all that's required.
We're back to how we were in the 90s. I'm being honest now.
Oh yeah, no,
back,
you are.
Back under the we're back like we were under Aussie and back under back under Rossi, back under Jerry Francis, Christian Gross, all them managed George Graham, all them Glenn Hoddle, all their managers back in the 90s, early 2000s. Yeah, it's for me. I think for me, I can't see no way out of this. And somebody was on TalkSport today, Dickie, saying Tottenham need to be relegated to fix them. Do you agree with that? I don't agree with that idea really, but this caller was sort of adamant that they need to be relegated. That will sort the problem out. That doesn't sort your problems out. Your problems get sorted out by the owners leaving.
What did this caller, because I didn't see the caller, did this caller explain his reasoning behind that?
Yeah, because he says it would fix the football club. It will fix the cracks and get players.
In what way?
That's what he said. And I will send you the clip and see what you think about it. I will send you the clip. I'll find it and send it to you. It was just him shouting and roaring at Simon Jordan, I think, to be fair.
If we get relegated, all the players that some of us think are any good, and I don't think there's that many, but we've already all got different names in our head. We'll all go. So Van de Ven, who's pretty much come our prize possession. You think Van de Ven spends a year in a championship with us?
No.
He's the first one gone. He'll be snapped up by one of the big Premiership clubs, right? Probably for 80 million or something, right? And we'll have to accept it probably. Romero, people might feel that won't be a loss, but still our probably second best player. He'll go. You might keep Gallagher because he's just joined. Kudos. You know what? Maybe you could keep Kudos. Xavi Simons in the Championship? I have my doubts about that one. You might keep Solanke. Might keep Spence. On Doggy, probably gone.
Oh, Spence can fucking go.
Paulinho, who everyone wants back. You think he's going to come? You think he's going to come back on loan next season for a year in the Championship?
I think a lot of these players would have to take responsibility too. I mean, last time we got relegated, Tequila, right? The likes of Glenn Hoddle was in that team that got relegated. Steve Perriman was in that team that got relegated. They all stuck around, and they all brought us back up again. Yes, football's changed. Football's different. I can't see these players, but look, let Aston Villa have just gone 1-0 up against Brighton, by the way. And also, Forest are drawing 0-0 against Wolves. That's another good result for us, because if Forest won tonight, they would have been on the same points as us.
What we really need is we need Wolves to actually get a goal. That's what we need.
Yeah, we do. These are the last managers to kill it, and then we're going to end up there, bud. It is Robert De Zerbi, Pochettino, two leading names, plus the names of Robbie Keane and Francisco Barlow. Francisco. I think there's only one name we think that is coming back, and that is, hang on, what we've got here. Tony says Wolves nearly scored, had 4-on-1 and fluffed it. Well,
that's why they're in 20th position.
And they sell their striker, by the way, to Crystal Palace, which was quite funny. Out of them four, if say Spurs did get in the relegation, then you would expect a Robbie Keane or a bottom two to take over Tottenham. If we do stay in the Premier League, do you think, and I know all the rumours is that it will be an interim, but if Tottenham do surprise us and they can't get Pochettino, do you think a Roberto Di Zebra would be the man to come in?
Not for me.
No,
not for me. Not for me. I out of those four, there's only one option. If we were to get relegated, I'd go with Robbie Keane.
Yeah,
number one, because I don't think the first two would even consider it. And to be honest, the Porto manager, he ain't going to leave Porto. He's not going to leave Porto for Championship team. So he might leave for a Premiership team, but he ain't going to leave for a Championship team. So that, you know what, if we were to get relegated, I'm all for Robbie Keane in the Championship. I'm all for him in the Championship. Go for it in the Championship. Yeah,
Robbie Keane's a good manager, by the way.
I think that would be a decent enough challenge for where he's at in his managerial career. I think that would be a good chance for him. I wouldn't want to throw him in the Premier League, Dermo. I wouldn't. But in the Championship, no, I wouldn't mind that.
Would you bring him in as a sort of replacement for Poch?
Yeah, Yeah, I'd have no
Bring
problem
him
as
in,
long
bring him in under Pochettino, and then have
yeah,
him follow on when Pochettino leaves.
as long as Keane's ready, willing to spend the X amount of years as the understudy, he might not be. He might think that it's better for his career if he go somewhere else for 5 years. And you can't say that would be wrong, because getting experience on the job is probably better than. Even though I'm sure he would learn a lot from Pochettino. What would you, if you were Robbie Keane, Dermo? Just thinking about your career, would you rather be? Why would you rather be a stand-in for maybe up to something like 5 years, considering how well it goes for Pochettino, or would you rather get a job maybe in a championship or something next season, or League One or something, and then?
I look, if you're Robbie Keane's an ambitious person, right? Robbie Keane will want to do the best for Robbie Keane. I think Robbie Keane would want to become a full-time manager, but I think if you got a choice, a chance to manage a big club like Tottenham Hotspur, are a big team, are a big club, and you're working under Pochettino, and Tottenham have said to you, right, you will take over from this man, I think he would come and learn the ropes and learn how to manage in the Premier League. I think, look, I would love Robbie Keane to be future Ireland manager. I think he's got that and he starts somewhere along the line. I like Robbie Keane's sort of feistiness. I love he won't take no shit.
But we all loved him. We all loved him as a player, though, mate. We all loved him as a player.
I think if Robbie Keane was in the club and Romero did what he did, I think he would just say, right, you're suspended for a week. He would have laid down the law straight away. And this is the problem. Tottenham players now think they ruled the roost. And the way they've been, and I think that's the problem, Tequila. The players think they rule Tottenham. They don't. It's the manager that rules Tottenham. I think Pochettino wants that family feel like Postecoglou had. I think he will bring that in. Robbie Keane will bring that family feel, but he'll bring the iron fist as well. So I would like Robbie Keane to probably join Tottenham on a interim basis and then fall into the coaching staff as Pochettino's assistant manager, and then when Poch leaves, then take over the team. I think that would be the smart move by Spurs.
I would be willing to go with that. Like Robbie Keane as an interim for a couple of months. I do think there's a risk element, but if I'm honest,
of course there is.
I think adding him to the other list of 3 we spoke about earlier, I'd still go with Redknapp, but he would be my second choice ahead of Mason or Heitinger.
Well, at the moment, Spurs are 16th. The table is now West Ham on 24, Forest on 27, Tottenham on 29, all play 26 points. The only thing going for our favour is we've got a -1. But the favour the other teams have, they have permanent managers. We don't. 35 attempts Forest had at the Wolves goal. Jesus,
35.
Jesus, they must have a very good goalkeeper. We'll make this last anyway, Tequila. So, look, Tottenham do have to make an announcement. We all know that. Big up to Carl. Carl said no to Rob. No, thank you.
Not even in the Championship, because that's kind of what you're saying. Would you not take him if you weren't relegated, Carl?
And he says results have gone our way tonight. They have gone our way tonight. They really have. Maybe I could feel a bit more optimistic now, Tequila, that we're not going to go down. But ask me that after we play Arsenal. Big up to Eddie, says I don't want Poch back. It's time to move on from him. I totally agree. It's like going back to your ex. It doesn't work. Believe me, I've done that. It does not work. Night Republic says such a horrible few years watching. My hope died when we sat Poch first time round. Yeah, I remember that. I was on my way to Dublin to a hospital appointment. It was 6:30 in the morning. Or 6 in the morning. I was getting 6 o'clock bus. And I remember it coming, and this is before I started the channel. And I think just before I started the channel, actually 6 months before I started it. And it came across that Poch had been sacked and Mourinho was in. So, do you know what I mean? Are we really going to go back to them years again? I don't know. Carl says, no, not at all for me. I love Robbie, but I think he's better out there. I think I'm on your boat, Tequila. I think I'm on you. I think out of the interim managers, I think he's the better choice than what's been offered.
As an interim,
interim.
yes, or as your idea was, as an interim, and then someone more permanent takes over, and then he stays on as the assistant manager or second in command, then that's fine as well. Yeah, I'll be okay with that.
Yeah. Well, Burnley winners as well. Yeah, that does keep Palace near us.
That's fine.
We've got Deitch might be available after tonight. Manufacturers flew down the tunnel after him.
Oh dear.
Oh dear.
People think we've got crazy owners.
Can I just say, at the moment, Pep is actually having a right go at one of his players in the middle of the pitch. I think that man's manager's lost his marbles, if I'm being honest.
There you go. He might be in it from a summer demo. You take Pep.
Do you know what? Would you?
I think I don't think he's as good as a lot of people say, but you can't say that he's not a good manager. I just don't think he's like Ferguson level. But yeah, of course I would. Yeah, of course I would. Of course.
Thomas Frank to Forest, you heard it here first. Oh Lord, we're not giving Forest our flack managers. Just to give you an outcome for tonight, guys. Villa beat Brighton 1-0. Man City beat Fulham 3-0. Forest drew 0-0 at home to Wolves. Burnley have beaten Palace 3-2 after coming back from 2-0 down, by the way. They're 3-2 up. And Sunderland and Liverpool at the moment are drawing 0-0. And then tomorrow night, Tequila, it is Brentford versus Arsenal. I would love Brentford to do a job tomorrow night. Can they?
Well, they seem to have a good manager again. Funny that.
Yeah. Carl's become a Burnley fan all of a sudden. Results
is that a full time? Is the Forest game full time then?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's okay, but that's not bad then. That's not bad, then, is it?
So there's 5 points then between West Ham and Spurs, and there's 2 points between Forest and Tottenham, and we're a point behind. So there's actually 10. There's 10 points between Brentford and Spurs. So we're 5 points from the bottom three, but we're only 10 points from Conference League football.
Well, we ain't going to get I'm sorry to dash your hopes, Demo, but we ain't going to get Conference League football.
Damn. I was hoping.
Imagine if he went on a run and won every. Imagine Ryan, just for comedy value. Imagine Ryan Mason comes in and he wins every game, and we win 13 in a row and qualify for Europe. Demo. You'd have to give him the job, wouldn't you? You'd have to.
You would have to give him the job. But look, guys, that's it. It's been one hell of a day. Everyone on the channel's had their say. It was important for Tequila to come on and have his say tonight. It really was. And I know I said I was off for 2 days, but I had to make sure that it was fair. Tequila had his say on the channel on the sacking of Thomas Frank. Tequila, look, a few days off pod now, unless something breaks, and we will be on.
Have you decided what you're going to do, Dermo? Because I know what you're like. If they announce an interim manager, you're going to come back on, aren't you?
Yeah, of course I am. Well, the thing is, we're not going away this week because Mrs. Trons wasn't very well last night, and she's still not very well today. So we've decided to put off going away to next week. But I'm still treating it as I'm away for the next few days. So yeah, if news breaks, we will bring it to you first and fastest. But yeah, Tequila, where can people find you, bud? Apart from here,
you can find me on the Play Pouch little gaming channel. Me and my mates got South Park coming up. Not sure what day. And maybe another channel to do with wrestling, but I got into trouble last time for showing it. And if you like wrestling, I'll keep you informed. Demo, what about any news on your F1 channel?
Yeah, I'm going to have a sit down with the person that's doing our. I'm sitting down with Colin, who did all our tech work. I'm going to get him to set up an intro and a badge for the F1 channel. So that will be coming up. Me and Mr. Brady are doing that. Mr. Brady has no clue of Formula One, but I said I will, and I think Carl's going to jump in as well, because me and Carl are going to set up an NFL stroke F1 channel. So that's what we're going to do. And maybe you might come in as well, Tequila, when it comes to NFL. Have a bit of fun with it.
Yeah, maybe come in now and again.
Yeah. Apparently, I've become a Seattle Seahawks fan now for next season.
Do you know anything about Seattle? Don't know.
Only what I've seen on telly. Only what I've seen on the telly. I know nothing about NFL, but I'm willing to learn.
I could say it's like rugby, but then I'll get everyone who likes rugby absolutely blasting me, so I won't say anything at all.
Yeah. Okay. Big up to Phil McCracken. This is my favorite LBGT channel.
Fair
enough.
I don't think any of us are.
No.
Cheers.
Thanks.
Just don't know what to say, really, do you?
Is there something you need to tell me, Tequila? Is there something you want to tell us all?
No, it's not me. I don't know.
Your name's not Tracy Burnley Chance, is it?
No. I got an AI to change my voice. Yeah. Put on a man's voice. Yeah.
Big up. Frank doesn't like letters. He never stood a chance. What sort of man does not like letters? It's mental. He's literally fair enough. And big up to Alfred, big up Dermot, and Frank finally gone. Coy's from a rainy and cold Hamburg in Germany. Big up. See, we've got a big fan in Germany. We're growing big now.
Right. Yep.
Yeah. Big up
can we have Vuskovic back, please? Can you find out, Chris?
Yeah. And Carl here's just laughing. I think he fell off his chair laughing. He's missed. Look, what's wrong with you, Carl? Just keeps pointing at the screen. And big up to Tony. Liverpool are 1-0 up. Well, Tequila, that is it for a few days. Thomas Frank has gone. The reign of Frank has happened. Long live the king is dead. Long live the king. Or is it long live the king? The king is dead. It can never which way. But anyway, the Thomas Frank era is over. We'll be back on Friday. We're back on Saturday evening with a show. Whatever you do, come on, you Spurs. In the cockerel we trust. We never stop. And Tequila, please, just for laughs, just give us an edge out. Just for laughs.
I'll do it, but I'm going to change the verbiage. Ready?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. It's not who we are, mate.
Good night.
Tottenham till I die. Raise a